Jai Hind all of you. I am Professor P.M. Patil, Assistant Professor, Department of Agronomy, Kekewa College of Agriculture, Nasik. Today we discuss on development of site-specific IFS model for different agroclimatic zones, its resources, use efficiency and optimization technique. Determinant of farming system. First, natural resources and climate. Interaction of natural resources, climate and population determine the physical basis for farming system. Increase variability of climate and thus agricultural productivity sustainably sustain, sustainably increases the risk posed by farmers with the reduction in investment and input use. Second, science and technology. Investment in agricultural science and technology has expanded rapidly during the last 4 decades. During this period, major technical and institutional reforms occurs which shape the pattern of technology development and domination. Third one, trade liberalization and market development. Market have a critical role to play in agricultural development as they form the linkages between farm, rural, and urban economics upon which the development processes depend. Availability of new production, post-harvest, and transport technologies will also change demand patterns due to delivery of new products to market. Fourth, policies, institutions, and public goods. Development of dynamic farming system requires fixed policy environment. Moreover, establishment of farm-rural-urban linkages requires effective demand. Policy makers have increasingly shifted their attention to the potential to increase the efficiency of service delivery through the structuring the institution criteria for enterprise selection. The basis points that are to be considered while choosing appropriate enterprises in IFS. First, soil and climatic features of an area and locality. Social status of the family and social customs prevailing in the locality. Economical conditions of the farmer. Then, resource availability at farm and present level of utilization of resources. Next, economics of proposed IFS and credit facilities. Farmers' managerial skill. Then household demand. Then institutional infrastructure and technological know-how, market facility and transport facility. Then IFS for different agro-ecosystem or agroclimatic conditions. IFS classification based on the following criteria. Available natural resource base including water, land, grazing area and forest. Climate of which altitude one important determinant. Landscape including slope, farm size, tenure and organization. Second, dominant pattern of farm activity and household livelihood including field crops, livestock, trees, aquaculture, hunting and gathering, processing and off-farm activities and taking into account the main technologies used. IFS for different agroclimatic zones of India. First, high altitude cold desert, pasture-rich forestry, goats, angora rabbits, and limited settled agricultural crops like millet, wheat, barley, and fodder. Second, arid and desert region, centering mainly in animal husbandry with the camel, sheep, goat, with moderate cropping component involving pearl millet, wheat, pulses, gram, and fodder crop. Then western and central Himalayas. Horticultural crops as a major component have less intensive agriculture mainly on the hill terraces and slope with maize, rice, wheat, pulses and fodder crops. Then eastern Himalayas, primitive crops husbandry with rice, millet, pulses, etc. Agroforestry system is also common. Piggery and poultry are cheap livestock activity. Then Indo-Gangetic plains. Intensive crop husbandry involving rice, wheat, maize, mustard, pulses, and livestock inclusive of dairy, cattle, and buffaloes. Then central and southern highlands. Cotton, sorghum, millet, pulses with dairy cattle, sheep and goat, and poultry are secondary livestock and animal husbandry enterprises. Then Western Ghat, the major activity on plantation crops and cultivation of rice and pulses are secondary agricultural activity. Cattle, sheep and goat are the livestock components which in the most part are maintained as large herds and allowed to range. Next, delta and coastal plains. Rice cultivation along with fish culture, poultry and piggery enterprises. Fisheries of the marine ecosystem is a specialized enterprise and does not mix with cropping activity. Then agronomic approaches for increasing overall productivity and sustainability of IFS. The various agronomic approaches for increasing the overall productivity of IFS, resource use efficiency and optimization techniques. First, the objective of any farming system, research and development efforts is to improve the efficiency and productivity of the use of basic resource in the production process. In order to determine the expected benefits, losses, and other implications of proposed change, it is necessary to evaluate the management and performance of both the existing production system and the recommended improvements. Then evaluation of FSR means farming system research. First, productivity. To estimate the productivity of components and compares with the crop components expressed in the terms of equivalent crop yield. Second, economic analysis. Parameters like cost of cultivation, production, gross and net return as per and per day return can be worked out the express as rupees per hectare. Third, employment generation. Labor required for various activities in crop production gives an man days per hectare per year. A man working for 8 hours in a day is considered as a one man day. A woman working for the same period is treated as a two-third man day and computed to the man days. Fourth, productivity of livestock components, milk, dung, and urine, etc. Fifth, information and human capital evaluation of farming system based upon increasing specialization or integrated intensification requires extra knowledge on the part of farm operations. Lack of information, education, and training is frequently a key limiting factors to smallholders' development. 6. Indigenous technical knowledge (ITK). ITK is the knowledge that people in a given community has developed over time and continues to develop. It is based on enterprise obtained, tested over a long period of use, adapted to local culture and environment, dynamic and changing, and minimizing risk rather than maximizing profits. Then resource use efficiency in agriculture is defined as to include the concept of technical efficiency, allocation efficiency, and economic efficiency. Efficiency. Efficiency in any system is an expression of obtainable output with the addition of unit amount of input. Ecological efficiency, the ratio of energy intake and energy of the biomass, that is the input and output, is called ecological efficiency. This can be studied at any topic level. Second, resource use efficiency, that is fertilizer, water, etc. It is output of the any crop or anything else per unit of the resource applied under the specified set of soil and climate conditions. Then technical efficiency is the ability of farm to produce a given level of output with minimum quantities of our input under a given technology. Economic efficiency is a product of technical and allocative efficiency. Then linear programming. The word linear is used to describe the relationship among two or more variables which are directly proportional. Advantages of linear programming: allocation problems are solved, provide possible and practical solutions. Then improve the quality of decision, highlights the constraint in production, help in optimum use of resources, provide information on marginal value products. Limitation of linear programming: linearity, considered only one objective for optimization, does not consider the effect of time and uncertainty. No guarantee of integer solution. Single value expectations. Assumptions of linear programming: linearity is describes the relationship among two or more variables which are directly proportional. Additivity: total input required is the sum of the resources used by each activity. Total product is sum of the production from each activity. Diversibility: resources can be used in fractional amounts. Similarly, the output can be produced in fractions. Finiteness of activity and resource restrictions: there is a limit to the number of activities and resource constraint. Non-negativity: resource and activity can be take negative values. That means the level of activities or resources cannot be less than zero. Single value expectations: resource supplies, input output coefficients and prices are known with certainty. Thank you. Jai Hind.